What is one of the most important skill set everyone should have if they want to crack an AI engineer role? People saying that for an AI engineer role, they don't need coding at all. Do you agree with that statement or do you think otherwise? Developers have exhausted yearly budget of all these AI subscriptions. Welcome to another episode of Shake Pods. Today we have with us Anand. So Anand is an AI manager in one of UK's big insurance company. And Anand and we recently met at an event where he was a speaker. He was talking about how to deliver AI applications beyond the hype and how to develop and deploy AI applications correctly. And most importantly, how to evaluate the AI applications. So it's pretty interesting. And I thought the first thing that I want to ask Anand is to record a conversation so our community can learn from him a lot. So welcome, Anand.
Thank you so much, Sohail. Thanks for having me here.
So it's interesting, right, Anand? You have started your professional journey in the space of IT as a core Java engineer, and you have worked with multiple companies and must have delivered great projects. And right now you are working as an AI engineering manager. How has the journey been and what are the learnings?
Yep. So you're spot on here. I started my career journey as a Java engineer initially and worked as a Java developer and in test automation space for a long time. Then I was on an assignment where I was working for a South African bank and I was responsible for developing a onboarding solution for a bank, that too using a mobile app. Using that app, the customer would be able to onboard themselves online through the mobile app. So all they have to do is to upload their current picture by clicking a selfie through mobile phone and then upload a government ID. And what that mobile app does is matches your picture available on the government ID with the current selfie that you have taken. What I tried my best to fail that particular scenario. I tried to upload the government ID of the person whose image there was 20 years old and then clicked another picture of theirs, the latest picture. And then when we tried to compare those two images, current image with the image present in the government ID, so it passed. So that is where I realized the magic of machine learning, and that sparked my interest. And I started exploring the topics related to machine learning, AI, and everything related. And after that, I joined this company back in 2018, Admiral Group, working here as an engineering manager responsible for driving engineering best practices and making sure that while we productionize these AI use cases, we adhere to engineering best practices. So this is what I'm doing in a nutshell on day-to-day basis.
The transition is great and the journey that you have progressed and you have taken. The image recognition was the trigger for you to explore more in the space of ML and AI, as you said. But then your predominant experience was in Java, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
And how easy was the transition? Because most of the companies that people or I apply to, they ask for some kind of experience in the space of AI, ML. So was it difficult?
Right. So at the start of the career, I was working for some consultancy companies back in India. And in consultancy companies, that's not completely your choice. Sometimes on the basis of the use case and the project requirement, you may need to adjust and you should be ready to change technology or language if needed. So I got an opportunity to develop a test automation framework using Python as a language. And I utilized that particular opportunity and developed test automation framework using Python as a language, and that sparked my interest, to be honest. And then after that, I tried using Python for some of the data analytics POCs. After this, ChatGPT came into picture, right? So I started exploring various agentic AI solutions available in the market, and most of those solutions are Python based or supports Python as a language. I find Python easy. Python rise to AI dominance didn't happen overnight because it became lingua franca of artificial intelligence because of the accessibility, simplicity, and speed of innovation. But definitely, it has low learning curve. Developers from any background can start quickly, and as I said, it supports most of the agentic AI solutions available in the market. So some of the solutions or majority of the solutions are low code solutions, but they provide the feature to generate the code as well, and then definitely there is an option to generate the code in Python. So it's better to use Python. I cannot say that you cannot develop AI agents or AI solutions in any other language. You can develop AI agents or AI based solutions in any other languages. But yeah, Python is most liked and most preferred language across the industry because of the additional benefits it has over other languages.
Right. People who would be watching this, especially from different fields in IT, they might be in different domains. Some might be in Java, some might be in front end, some might be working in something else, in test, or whatever the domain that they are working in. And AI has been the hot topic of this decade. There are many people who keep on asking me, we want to switch to AI roles. Where do we start? Are there any kind of starter courses that you would recommend for someone who is in any domain and want to switch to AI?
Right. So my first suggestion is start small. And based on their profession is their journey, and they need to decide in which direction they need to go. So for example, AI is everywhere. If someone is a product owner, they can write their requirement, define their requirement, define roadmap, or maybe develop the designs using AI. And if somebody is a developer, so they can develop the AI solutions, agentic AI solutions. They can develop AI application, or they can use the AI tooling to generate the code. So they need to decide their priorities, what they want to learn. They want to learn how to develop AI agents or AI applications, or they want to learn how to use AI tooling to make their work more efficient. So it's completely up to them. If somebody is a developer, so my suggestion is the first thing they should start doing is to start using the AI tooling to generate the code, right? And then replace traditional applications with AI based applications. And if they are interested, if they are comfortable with languages like Python, they can be a AI builder. They can start building or start developing the AI agents. And if they are doing it by using both the things, they are developing the AI solutions or AI agents, and at the same time, in order to develop that AI solution, if they are using the AI code generation solutions like GitHub Copilot, Cloud Code, or there are various other solutions available, so that can be the best solution, I would say. So you are developing the AI app, AI agent, or AI solutions, and that too using the AI tooling. My suggestion is start small and then slowly take smaller steps. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you said start small, right? I have also faced questions and people asking me questions saying, when I say start small, they would ask me, what is the easiest use case to pick? There are hundreds of things that are going on in the AI space. So what would be the first ever use case that someone can start?
I think first they need to understand what has changed after OpenAI came into picture. So they brought the concept of large language models. Large language model is they are the models that have been trained using the data available on the internet. And using the power of those large language models, you can solve some of the problems. So some of the problems related to generating something, so be it generating the images, generating the documents, generating the videos, so, right? So this is the concept of generative AI. Most of the companies are currently they are replacing their customer support solutions with AI enabled customer support solutions, an AI agent that talks to your customer rather than human dealing with them directly. So this is the most preferred solution at this point in the industry. So basically what you need to do, you need to develop an AI agent. You need to connect that AI agent with any of the large language model, general purpose large language model. So be it Gemini, OpenAI through the API calls, and let that AI agent respond back to your customer queries.
Yeah. So for people who do not know what AI agent is, if you can define AI agent.
AI agent is it's a piece of software, and you can program that in a way that it responds to your customer query. So basically you need to develop one user interface, and then it gets the power of large language model. You can then connect that agent with your company's data sources, because when it is connected with the large language model means it has the ability to understand the language, natural language, but it doesn't understand, or it has no knowledge about your company's details, policies, etc. that you want to share with your customers. So what it does is takes the query from the user, understand that query with the help of large language model, get the relevant information from the documentation, and then revert back to the customer. So this is the most common use case in the industry for AI agent. You can use any of the agentic AI development solutions like ADK, Google Agent Development Kit, True AI, AutoGen from Microsoft, and there are many other solutions available. So there are some popular code-based solutions like LangChain, LangGraph. You can even use Python for developing an AI agent, or low code. It is like N8N is the popular solution. So using these technologies or frameworks, you can develop the AI agent. You can take subscription of any of the large language model, and then you need to ground that AI agent by supplying the knowledge source of your company's data.
Okay. So you said we are supplying the knowledge base or knowledge source of our company's documents or any kind of internal data to large language models. So one, where would this kind of data be sitting? Will it be a relational database or is there any kind of special databases?
Right, so it's a combination. So it depends on what kind of data store you have. So it could be a combination of different data sources, PDF documents, be it database, be it JSON files, anything. Data comes in different shapes and forms. So all you need is to fetch the data from those document sources, store it. Should be easily be accessible by the AI agents. There is a concept called RAG, retrieval augmented generation. That is a common terminology, and you need to retrieve the content from your documentation, store it somewhere in the form of embeddings into the vector database, and reply back to the customer queries after performing the similarity search.
Yeah, RAG is an interesting concept, right? I'm pretty sure you have dealt with a lot of knowledge bases with different kind of data structures. They are in the format of tables. It can be in the format of text. It can be in the format of image or videos. For LLM understanding, what do you think is the best of data source? Which format do you think structured is better or unstructured is better?
LLM works better with unstructured data because they have the ability to understand the natural language. So I'm not saying that they are not good at reading the data which is in a structured format. They works better if the data fed into them is unstructured data.
But I guess most of the companies, including mine, they do have structured data, and most of the companies are trying to do something with structured data. I myself am trying something with structured data, do CRUD operations on the database. That's what I've been trying with how much accuracy and so on. But I think most of the companies are working in the structured space. So, do you think there is a way that can improve performance of AI on structured data?
So what we typically do with the structured data is we have historical data of customers available with us, and that we use to perform some kind of predictions. And we develop our machine learning models and further train those models to get forecasting or something similar. And that we generally do in machine learning space. We make use of structured data to predict something and develop those machine learning models. But in order to supply some information back to the customers, we use the combination of structured and unstructured data and reply back to the customer using these AI agents. So this is what we do.
All right, makes sense. Right now, you are an AI engineering manager. So just talk to us about your daily responsibilities and what is something that you really find interesting and how different is it from a project manager versus an AI manager?
In my role, I'm responsible for productionizing the AI use cases around. We have decided that this year we'll be going live with 8 AI use cases, and I'm responsible for productionizing those use cases. So in my day-to-day role, I'm responsible for attending the stand-ups, making sure that we are making some progress on those use cases, helping the team members in resolving the issues, bottlenecks, dependencies. It's different from typical software development. It's completely new space, and you need to be ready to wear multiple hats. For example, as an engineering manager, ideally I'm just responsible for managing people and at the same time implementing the engineering best practices into the project. But I myself was involved in doing the POCs, exploring the various solutions, and I was involved in decision making as well. I work closely with the architecture team to design the solutions, end-to-end solutions, and I support the delivery as well. I support the AI ops team that is responsible for productionizing those use cases. I work closely with the evaluation team and making sure that, I mean, whatever AI output we are producing is of highest standard, and the responses are ethical and fitting to the standard we have defined for fairness, biasness, making sure that we have proper evaluation in place, work closely with the security team on defining the guardrails and making sure that we are covered from all the boundaries, means we are not sharing our PII data, personal identifiable information data, with customer and with the LLM as well, right? So making sure that those guardrails are in place. So yeah, wearing multiple hats at the moment and enjoying it thoroughly, I would say.
To summarize, AI engineering manager is pretty much hands on developing, designing, evaluating the whole workflow of AI. That's how I can summarize. It's good that you have talked about guardrails, evaluation, and all the fairness bias metrics. So, which brings me to my next question. Everyone who knows about AI is talking about something called hallucination. Now, you work in a highly regulated industry. So how do you mitigate the hallucination from the AI applications? What is hallucination first?
So the example I gave around developing an AI agent for customer support operations, what it does is like it responds to the customer queries based on the information that is available in the data sources that we connected with the AI agent. For example, customer is asking a question and then AI agent is replying back to the customer with the details. But if that detail is not present in the document sources that we have connected with the AI agent, and still it is replying back to the customer with some details, means it is hallucinating because that information is not available in our documents, right? So what has happened that it tried to find the information from the document store. It was not available with the help of LLM. So either it responded back to the customer based on the knowledge available in the large language model, or large language model has gone outside on the internet to find the relevant information for the customer. So that is called hallucination. And how to avoid hallucination is when you find that agent is hallucinating, you can find out easily using efficient evaluation approach. And if it is hallucinating, you can always write a prompt not to share such information that is not available in the knowledge store, or you can add some blocks into your framework or the tool that you are using not to share such information that is not available in the knowledge store. This is really important when you are using an AI agent as a customer support agent. So it is representing your company and your brand value is at stake. So you should be very careful about the hallucination scenarios.
Okay. So you mentioned about one way to reduce hallucinations, that is defining the goal and the prompt and defining the guardrails. So let's say if someone has built an agent, if writing better prompts is not working, is there any better way that can help us to reduce hallucinations?
Right. So writing efficient prompt and then defining those prompts to instruct the AI agent to respond in a certain way. It totally depends on your golden data set as well. I mean, what kind of questions that we use for evaluation, and for those questions, how the AI agent should respond.
Yeah. Model parameters like temperature and n-grams, top K, and all these parameters. Do you think that will help?
Right. So that these parameters, the temperature value, the top K, top P, max token values, they are responsible for instructing the model to behave in a certain way. So they cannot help us with the hallucination issue.
Okay.
So for example, if the response doesn't contain enough information, so you can adjust the temperature value, and you can always adjust the value of top K, top key, max tokens, etc. But yeah, I mean, there is some help in hallucination, but yeah, hallucination is a slightly different topic in my opinion.
You have spoke a lot about evaluating AI systems, and I remember you talking about different ways to evaluate or different frameworks for evaluations. So why does someone need to first evaluate the AI systems that anyone has built, and how we should deliver AI beyond hype, and why evaluation is so important in the space of AI?
Evaluation is really important because when I give this example of developing the AI agent as customer support agent for your company, and then if you are responding back to the customer queries, right? So you need to make sure that you are sharing the information back with the customer that is the most accurate information. So what these AI agent does is they share the information with very high confidence level. Even if it is sharing the wrong information with the customer, the confidence level is always high. So it's really important that we have that evaluation pipeline in place and evaluation solutioning in place. And that is why it is really important to build that golden data set, and basically a set of questionnaire that you gather from your business SMEs from different areas, and then feed those questions into the AI agent and get the response against those questions from AI agent, and you evaluate those responses based on certain metrics like hallucination, correctness, promptness, fairness, biasness, and there are a number of other metrics available. It depends on your use case. And then what it does is, because there is no pass or fail kind of output in AI agent, so it basically is how correct is the response and how not correct is the response. So basically you cannot say it's a pass or fail. So the output can be right output according to me, and it could be wrong output according to you, right? So what these evaluation framework does is they provide a score against each responses. So, for example, if the scoring criteria is 0 to 10, and 10 being highest, 0 being lowest, and you have defined that threshold is 7, or whatever output is getting 7 or more than 7 will be considered as pass, and then output that is getting less than 7 will be considered as fail. So, means the outputs that have been failed, you need to further work on those outputs. You need to perform more fine tunings. You need to adjust that parameters, temperature, top K, top P, max token to fall into the category of 7 or more than 7. And there are various tools available in the market. DeepEval is the popular one. You can use DeepEval library. You can use Raga's framework. That is the popular option for evaluating the rack systems. There is an option available, LangFuse, Langsmith can also be considered. So various solutions available in the market. Defining an approach, building golden data set, and make evaluation pipeline a mandatory step is really important.
Yeah. There is also a method called LLM as a judge. So did you get a chance to that technique? Do you think it is better, or how does it perform?
It definitely helps. All these tools or solutions I mentioned, like DeepEval, Ragas, LangFuse, they all use LLM as a judge approach. So it definitely helps, right? So what happens is when you feed those questionnaire from a golden data set into the AI agent, it gives some responses. So on first level, those responses are evaluated by LLM as a judge. So what is LLM as a judge? It is basically an LLM model evaluating those responses and providing the numbers, scores for the defined metrics, right? So for example, a particular response or output is marked as 6 by LLM as a judge. So the approach that I prefer is I use the scoring criteria of LLM as a judge, and on the other side I use the scores from human in the loop. And basically I aim for the alignment scores. So for example, for a particular response, if both LLM as a judge and human in the loop are saying that this can be marked as 7 or more, so it means that particular output can be considered as pass. Or if both LLM as a judge and human in the loop says no, it is 6 or 5, then it means they are considered as failed. It's definitely popular, and I'm also using it, and most of other companies are using it for evaluation. But in ideal circumstances, it should be used in combination with human in the loop.
Okay. Yeah. Human in the loop is necessary because human in the loop is the most high quality evaluation that you can get. But if you have to like rate, human evaluation will be on the top, and then it will be LLM as a judge. Is there any kind of hierarchy?
Right. So it depends on your use case as well. So if your use case is transactional, you are deciding something towards the end, or you are trying to sell something, or you are trying to finalize a payment from the customer, so then definitely the final decision should be given to human in the loop. But if the journey is not transactional, it's up to you how you want to use it, whether human in the loop first or LLM as a judge first. So all we care about is the alignment score.
Right. Makes sense. Yesterday, I was going through some of the articles. All those big tech companies, they have actually given coding agent access to all the employees like Claude Code and Cursor and whatnot. And I have read somewhere the developers have exhausted the yearly budget of all these AI subscriptions within a month. So with all this AI usage, AI application building and so on, if someone is building an AI application, how can they reduce the cost to build and the inference cost as well. So, for people who don't know, inference is when you build an AI application, you have LLM as a brain. It might be Gemini or ChatGPT, so on. Every time you call these LLMs, there will be a token cost. It depends on the input that you are sending and the output you are expecting. So the inference cost is something that kind of goes up pretty fast. How can someone reduce the cost of using these applications and building these applications?
You touched upon two different scenarios here. So you talked about using the code generation tools like Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, and then you talked about developing the AI applications, right? So both are different scenarios. So while generating the code from using these AI tooling, Claude Code or GitHub Copilot, so it totally depends on the requirement you have. So people have a habit of using the premium models available for even a simple use case. So, and the premium models comes at some additional cost. So, for example, if your use case is simple, I mean, you just need to write a hello world program, and if you are consuming the tokens from premium models, it definitely is just a waste of tokens, to be honest. So you should save your premium models for more complex use cases and rather use the non-premium models or general purpose model for simpler use cases. So there should be a governance from the top leadership that if the use case is simple, what models they should use, kind of guideline should be published. And if you are using tools like Claude Code, so you should consider developing the skills to automate the workflows, something like that, some reusable solutions, and some guidelines definitely needs to be published. So this is on the AI code generation tooling side. And if I talk about the builder journey where we develop the AI agent or AI solutions, there are a number of things we could do. For example, I mean, we can look at the size of the context window and making sure that we are not sending too many tokens in one context. We can consider sizing the context window. There are other ways to optimize AI tokens, right? So, for example, in RAG, we read the information available on the documents like PDF documents, databases, or JSON. We look for approaches where we can consume less tokens, and maybe later on they will think more about optimizing and cost saving.
Yeah. You know, in traditional software engineering applications that we build, one of the mechanisms is caching, where we can use caching that can reduce the cost of applications. So, are there any caching mechanisms in the space of AI as well?
Exactly. So we are maintaining context cache for all our use cases. So the retrieved information so that we feel will be used repeatedly. So we save those information into the AI cache, and then we decide when to remove that information. But it works in a similar way as traditional cache solutions. So we have that memory space available to maintain the cache, and then for frequent queries we respond back to the customer using the information available in the cache.
Context cache, is it like an application? Redis is something that many people use for caching. Is it something like that?
Yes, definitely similar, right? So you can use Redis or any other cache solution that you are already using in your company, and most of the agentic AI tooling, they they comes with their own cache solution. So it's up to you. You want to use the cache solution provided by the agentic AI tooling. If you have your own set of cache solutions, so you can use that as well.
Right.
For example, for observability, CI/CD platforms, DevOps, right? So if you have some toolings available in your company, you can use the same set of tools for agentic AI journey as well. So same
Right.
for cache.
Makes sense. So we are in the last segment of our conversation. I'm pretty sure you interview a lot of candidates for AI engineer roles in your teams. What is one of the most important skill set everyone should have if they want to crack an AI engineer role?
Right. So it completely depends on the use case. But the roles in my company, I preferred someone who is coming from Python backend development background by using any of the libraries or frameworks like Django, Fast API, right? So if they understand Python and if they know how to write or develop APIs using Python and with some knowledge of agentic AI or AI tooling, I would hire that person. So because I'm developing a POC in agentic AI space is really easy. Using any of the low code solution, you can quickly develop a proof of concept in a day's time. But when it comes to integrating that AI agent with the enterprise level or legacy application of your company, so that is where most of the challenges come. So that is the reason I prefer person with Python backend development background. So because that person will know how to integrate that AI agent with the other systems that we are using in the company.
So backend knowledge is very critical for any AI engineer roles, because I have been seeing some videos and posts, people saying that for an AI engineer role, they don't need coding at all. Do you agree with that statement, or do you think otherwise?
Exactly. So if it is just about developing an AI agent, so as I said, you can develop an AI agent by using any of the low code technology solution, right? So in a day's time. But when it comes to integrate that particular AI agent, so with the enterprise level application, and you need to make sure that it is consuming the data available in your backend application, and you want that person to write those APIs, right? So how will that person write those APIs without having any coding knowledge? So definitely that person will struggle.
Right. Makes sense. So one final question. So if someone is planning to get a job as an AI engineer in 2026, what would be their roadmap or plan?
I would suggest doing Python coding course first. There are sources available, and they can go for any of the tutorials from YouTube or Udemy or any other portals. And after that, they can opt for any AI engineering course where they can learn how to develop those AI agents, how to develop the RAG based AI agents, and try to come up with the solutions. So they can do a quick POC with some PDF documents, for example, one PDF or two PDF, and then they can develop an AI agent that reads the information from those PDF documents and then replying back to customer. And that AI agent will be powered by the large language model, and they can connect the AI agent with the large language model through API calls. So this could be the simplest use case they can develop. It's basically developing a RAG based AI agent. So retrieving the details from the PDF documents, creating the embeddings, storing those embeddings into the vector database, and when the customer query comes, perform the similarity search and revert back to the customer.
All right. Yeah, it should always be use case based, project based learning rather than just watching videos. You will become an AI engineer by doing and building something, and not just by watching videos. That's something that I would tell anyone, and I'm pretty sure you will echo with that idea as well. Thank you so much, Anand, for doing this. It's been pleasure talking to you, knowing you, and learning from you with regards to AI evaluations. And I hope the listeners who have been watching this video, I hope they get the maximum value out of it and have learned something. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.